At this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, a longtime friend and an excellent entrepreneur, businessman, TV, YouTube star, just extraordinary individual. I asked to be here, and Hamid Yaz. Yeah,
Hello,
Hamid is
everybody.
going to do something a little bit different here. Is not going to have a bunch of slides because you're going to have to pay attention. These are 10 overlooked marketing secrets. And since they're a secret, he's not going to put them up on the screen. You're going to have to pay attention. So that means you just can't click and put your face up there and go do something else. And at the end of the actual session, we're going to go ahead and recap and put those tips back on the board. So we picked Hamid because not only does he have the experience, but he's also from around here, knows the market, very innovative and creative in his methods. And when you stop and think of them, sometimes it's the basic, simple little things that we never think about. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Hamid. Hamid, take it away, sir.
Hello, everybody, and I'm glad you're giving me, was it 1 hour of your time? 54 minutes now. We'll say 54 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in because you really could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us. I wanted just a quick 30-second intro as to who I am, kind of what I've done, the quick overview. Mid-2000s, started on YouTube, got millions of views, thousands of subscribers. Keep in mind, this is 15 years ago when these numbers were unheard of. Used that knowledge, transferred it into video production, started shooting commercials, music videos for local people here in Austin. I started a small business development company back in 2010, back when no small business owner believed in anything digital. As far as like YouTube, they said, no, it's all about radio and TV. When my commercial runs, then I know the phone's going to ring X amount of times. That's how they gauged their ROI, which obviously, 2010, 2011, 2012, digital really started picking up, and then everybody wants to be on YouTube all of a sudden. And now, of course, TikTok and everything else. Well, fast forward to, but that didn't last long because, once again, the average business owner didn't believe in that. They wanted to be TV and radio. So I was media buying and such. Fast forward to 2015, I started a dessert business here out of Austin. Had product in restaurants, convenience stores, fruterias. I had deals going with schools, business parks, local businesses, believe it or not, washaterias, barbershops. I'm doing weekly pop-ups where I'm, literally we're out there with the table set up and just selling pecan pies, brownies, all kinds of things. Opened up, was a 20-foot food trailer at the time as well. So I learned how to create very many pillars of revenue for the business, because as you guys know, depending on the type of business you have, one might not work today because it's raining super hard and everyone says, I want Uber Eats now because I'm not going to go out in the rain. But did you establish an account with Uber Eats and so on? So anyways, fast forwarding from there, from starting the dessert business, I really got into more presenting workshops and bringing on private clients and such. And it really amazes me how much, and myself as well, as a small business owner, there is so much that is literally overlooked. It's like, right, when you're looking for your keys or you're looking for your sunglasses and they're, your sunglasses are on your head the whole time. That's kind of what I've learned with business owners. It's made, it's sold, and it's bought. Stop and really think about that. It's made, it's sold, it's bought. I don't care we're a product or a service, at least. It's rendered. It all falls down into the same categories, just different type of commodities or services. Anyways, I guess, JR, the way we're going to do it, I believe, is you give me the notes I sent you, and I just kind of feed off of that, correct?
Well, we can go ahead and get started because I don't have those notes handy of what we reviewed yesterday, but we'll be here to interject and ask any questions that need be, because I know you get excited about what you're talking about, Hamid. Sometimes we have to slow you down.
Yeah, JR has known me for a while now, so he knows I'm very passionate about these things. Imagine when your kids talk to you about that new thing that they want. They're like, but dad, you don't understand, dad, and mom, and they just go and go. That's kind of how I am, but I do have to put the brakes on sometimes. So I got them in bullet points as well as with an example of each one. You're more than welcome to write them down as we go. I keep everything very simple and don't do death by PowerPoint or however they call it and all this fancy stuff. It's very simple. Plus, I also want you to write it down. I'm going to give you 2 bonus secrets as well. And then on top of that, at the very end, and JR has heard this in person actually, there's 3 ways I picked up from years ago, guaranteed on how to grow any business. I don't care what you're selling or what you're offering. It is guaranteed if you just follow the template, or even if you work on one of the things. But let's get this started. So number 1, pushing best versus favorite. Okay. Every business owner wants to brag that they have the best this, the best that, right? For the most part. But in reality, how many are focusing on possibly being the favorite? Okay. If you're making, let's say, medical devices, that's the kind of business that you have, pushing to be the best, obviously, because, you know, there's people's lives at risk, the best might work for you there. Now think about if you own a restaurant. You know, if I was married, my wife might say, I want to go to my favorite place, or he took me to my favorite restaurant for my birthday. So the best restaurant, which I say, oh yeah, but they've got this filet mignon and they've got this ribeye and this $75 cut of meat. She might not want that. She might like the little Mexican restaurant on the side of the road down 35 or in Buda, wherever it is. So you have to stop and ask yourself, am I pushing myself when I do my campaigns, which we'll talk about here in a second? Am I going to be, or trying to be the best, or really pushing that we're the favorite in the city? Okay, think about that, best versus favorite. And I'm only spending a few minutes on each one of these, by the way, because we're limited on time with all the information. But of course, you know, if you have questions, we'll save some time at the end. But this is just a quick overview, and then we'll deep dive later once we get through them all. So best versus favorite. Yes,
I mean, in the best versus favorite. So for a small business owner, which path do they take?
It really depends. It really depends. Let's say, good example, as a restaurant owner, and I actually got this one from Jack Gilmore from Jack Allen's Kitchen. He said just like this. He said, the best restaurants in the city don't have a line around the building. Think about that. The best restaurants in the city don't have a line around the building. And nowadays, obviously, because we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have Twitter, we have Snapchat, we have everything you can think of at our fingertips. That's another thing of where is better for you to begin with. And second, imagine if you're the most popular. There's a place in Houston called Turkey Leg Hut. I believe it's called Turkey Leg Hut. I know people that go from Austin to Houston just to get a turkey leg from there. Literally, they make it a day trip to go and eat a turkey leg. You could get at the flea market for like $5 probably. But they put the macaroni and cheese and they do all of this, and it's so popular on Instagram, and they take pictures. I did the same thing with my dessert business. I had people coming, you know, from all over. Bertram, Texas was the farthest somebody came from to eat a piece of cheesecake that somebody reshared on Facebook, their cousin or aunt or somebody from Bertram, Texas. And this was at the time I had the trailer in North Austin. So think about that. Which is best for your business, okay? So being socially popular might be better for you, and we're going to talk about that here in a bit. The next one, secure an innovation plan against copycats. Secure an innovation plan against copycats. And I'm going to tell you why this falls into obviously marketing as well as other things as well. Remember when the Apple Airpods came out? Totally blew everybody's mind. They're like, wait a second, it's like Bluetooth, but it's little, and it's a little earbud. Oh my gosh. The idea and the concept was so simple, but it took them, I think, 1 or 2 years to come out with the AirPods Pro with the noise canceling and this and that. Within 3 weeks that the AirPods came out, there was already what I call them the fraud pods, right? The fraud pods came out, and it was all the ones you could buy at the grocery store for $20. Now you can get AirPods, you know, the fake ones, Sky Pods or whatever they call them. You can buy them at the convenience stores now for $10, for $7. But you can get different colors because Apple didn't do a long line of the metallic blue, the metallic red, whatever it was. So with your business, there might be somebody that's, you might have launched something first. Someone's going to copy you, but what's your plan to up that? And the average business owner doesn't think about that. They just want to be I want to be the first. I want to be the first. Right now, stop and think about it. If I need a plumber, I don't care about these commercials that they say, we've been in business since 1973. I don't care. How much is it going to cost me? How fast are you going to be here? When my pipe is leaking and it's exploding or whatever it is, I don't care how long you've been in business for. That is irrelevant. So stop and think about how you're innovating your product or your service, because people will copy you, and then you can run that as a campaign, because people are going to know there's copycats, but some will be loyal to you. Some will say, well, they've got better, over here. They're doing cookies, but their cookies are gluten-free. Their cookies are paleo. They have keto cookies. Yeah, they do the little designs, like a bakery. They do the little designs on it and the frosting, and it looks like the state of Texas and all these cool little things. Are you offering a keto cookie? Are you offering gluten-free? Because someone else is going to take that market share from you. The next one, own a word or a phrase. Own a word or a phrase. Very simple. Imagine Tiff's Treats, okay? When we think of cookie delivery, if anybody even says the word cookies delivered, or the phrase cookies delivered or cookie delivery, for example, what's the first thing you think about? Tiff's Treats. Because nobody, at least in the past 20 years, I think Tiff's Treats really came out in 2001-ish, right around there. In the past 20 years, who has dominated or tried to compete or try to take that phrase, cookie delivery? So it's branded in our mind, cookie delivery, you automatically identify it with Tiff's Treats, okay? Now, if I were to start a cookie delivery type of business, I would say something along the lines of, like a tagline, we also deliver cookies. Wait till you see inside the box. We also deliver cookies. Wait till you see inside the box, or wait till you open the box. Because as all of us know, you can look on Instagram, you can look on Facebook. When people post a picture of Tiff's Treats, that, the wife, the husband sent her some cookies, or the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whoever it is, they rarely show the actual cookie. Stop and think about this. They rarely show the actual cookie. It's more about the box. They want you to see the blue ribbon. They want you to see the white box with the beautiful blue ribbon that probably cost 4 cents, and they paid $30 for these cookies or whatever it is. So when you stop and think about that, what word or phrase does your business own? Let's say, good example, luxury watches, Rolex. Rolex owns luxury. You don't hear people rapping about anything other than a Rolex is the watch, right? It has been for decades because it's branded. Volvo, safety, another one. If a family of 4 wants a very safe car, oh, we got to get Volvo. It has to be a Volvo. So stop and think about that. And once you identify what your word or phrase is, or the one you want to push, you market the heck out of it. And you get people to think that, okay? And, we'll get into the perception marketing and such here in a bit. The next one, starting a subcategory. Depending on the type of business you have, product or service, your category might be way too cluttered. Let's be honest, okay? Hamburgers, okay? Oh, good example. Some friends of mine, actually, they own Slab Barbecue. And I'm going to give you all 2 examples here. Slab Barbecue. Everyone in Austin sells barbecue. You can get barbecue at the gas station, okay? But of course, people might say, oh, I want Franklin's, or I want, I just forgot one of my favorites. See, that's the word favorite. They have a location up in Cedar Park now. Style Switch. Some people like Rudy's. It just really depends. But what Slab Barbecue did was they focused on barbecue sandwiches, okay? Everyone else is selling brisket by the pound and sausage by the pound. Slab Barbecue, I think they're going on their 3rd location now. They were actually one of my customers selling desserts there. They focused on sandwiches, barbecue sandwiches. They've got one called the donk. It's like 1 pound of beef. Then they've got the badonkadonk or something. It's 2 pounds of beef. It's literally like this high. They have to put a skewer in the middle when they bring it out to you. And of course, because we're in a world of social media, people literally show up there for the picture. They just want the picture. Who knows if they're going to eat it all? They just want the picture to tell everybody, ha, 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 look what I got and you don't. And they put it on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. The second example of a subcategory, I did a workshop a few years ago with a girl on YouTube. If you look her up, her name is Lisa J. Lisa J. I believe she's from Lakeway. She was living in Lakeway at the time. And she said she's a young girl. Well, I'm sorry, maybe about 30-ish, around there, white, pale skin. And she said, there's thousands of women like me. There's thousands of women like me. So how am I going to differentiate myself from everybody else? And that really opened up my mind. And I was thinking, I was like, yeah, there's thousands of girls like her. Now imagine if you want to be an MUA on YouTube. You want to give makeup tutorials, right? Let's say you happen to be a dark-skinned woman, whether you're African-American, whether you're Dominican, you're Hispanic, whatever it is. We're talking about skin tone here. If your skin tone is very dark, let's say, okay, MUA for dark-skinned women, right? So now you've narrowed it down a little bit. Now, or actually a lot, you've narrowed it down, but there's millions. Now, let's say you want to narrow it down even more. And you say, I want to be the MUA of choice, or the favorite, remember, the MUA of choice, or the favorite MUA for dark-skinned teenage girls. So now you have, let's say, mothers that say, hold on, she's catering to teenagers. She's dark-skinned, like my child. I want my child to watch her videos before anybody else's videos. So depending on your business or service, that might be in your better interest. Real estate agent, maybe first-time home buyers that are Hispanic. Maybe, I don't know if there's any laws on something like that. I'm not really sure, but stop and think about it like that, because really just branding yourself is becoming the first or the only one that comes to mind. There's a quick little bonus in there. Is your business or your product or your service, or let's say your business, positioned to where you have become the first or the only one in mind when it comes to that product or service? And a lot of business owners don't focus on that. They really don't focus on that. Now, the next one, use price as a leverage with windows of opportunity. Use price as leverage with windows of opportunity. I spoke at a UT. It was at I forget the hall that it was called. I did a thing with Univision for Posible ATX. It was a huge entrepreneur summit. I did it 2 years with them. The last year, the video is actually on YouTube, by the way, but it's in Spanish. I don't know if y'all speak Spanish or not. My mother's Mexican, so I speak fluent Spanish. A girl came up to me and said, I have a balloon company and I'm losing customers. I said, what do you mean you're losing customers? She said, well, they come to me and ask me for a price. I give them my price and then they go elsewhere. I said, well, why do they go elsewhere? I said, well, because someone down the road is charging less. I said, okay, so what do you tell them? She goes, I tell them go over there then. I said, number one, don't ever tell the customer, go over there then. That's not the right thing to do. Number two, that's more of a sales type of thing, but that's another workshop right there. So number two is, I said, okay, let's say the so-and-so is charging $50 less for a $500 arrangement or birthday, whatever it is. I said, what you should be doing, and she stopped me in the halls. Once again, the video's on YouTube. She stopped me in the halls and I told her, I said, look, you say, yes, I do charge $50 more, whatever, the price was. However, this is why I charge $50 more, okay? I give you boom, 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 boom. So what's happening is, like, when you go to the grocery store, they give you free samples, okay? And that free sample, once you get that little taste of that habanero chile, whatever it is, on your tongue, you're like, oh man, I want some more. So you remind them in the beginning, because you want to tell them what, that you do charge more at the beginning. Don't wait till the end to tell them up front, because they're going to forget about that. Well, they're going to remember, but you got it out the way is what I'm saying. And then you hit them with everything that you're giving them extra. All that extra stuff is the stuff, that is going to open up windows of opportunities to make more revenue, because they might say, you know what, that little enclosure that you gave me free of charge, I really like that. Can we do all the letters like that? Sure, no problem. I'll give you the first 3 free. The other 3, they're only going to be $20 or $10, whatever it is. And that's how you open windows of opportunity. So yes, you might have to address why you cost more, but don't join the race to the bottom, which is what so many business owners do. They join the race to the bottom to see who can lose more money faster, basically. When you're a small business, you can't afford to say, well, their burger plate is $7.99, so I'm going to go $6.99, because then someone else is going to go $5.99. So before you know it, it's who can lose money faster. But once you learn how to, add the windows of opportunities, you run the heck out of that through a marketing campaign, and you let them know, boom, 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 boom.
Hamid, let me ask you a question on that one, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Windows of opportunity and pricing. Isn't there a lot of people out there that will have the perception that the higher the price, the better the quality? And could that be a driving factor as well?
Here's something I learned a long time ago too. Marketing is a battle of perceptions. Okay, write that one down, people. Marketing is a battle of perceptions. Quick example. Let's say, for example, a good example, my son got car insurance the other day, right? And I told him, I said, what insurance do you think you're going to get? Because adding him to my policy with 2 other cars is going to be $354 to add him on. I was like, oh, heck no, this kid don't got $354 to pay extra. So he goes, well, I'm thinking Progressive. I said, why Progressive? He said, well, all my friends have Progressive and, they take care of you. Okay, so here's the thing. When these car insurance companies run these ads, you're really not paying for anything other than the perception that if something happens, when something happens, pray to God it doesn't even happen, that they will take care of you and you'll get your claim fast and XYZ. Do you see what I'm saying? So marketing is a battle of perception. So with your businesses, it's all a matter of the campaigns, and we're getting close to that. What you're pumping out there. Like you could say the perception that we're the best steak restaurant. Okay, why? Why are you the best steak restaurant? We're the best AC repair company. Why? The tech that's working for you used to work for McCullough or whatever it was just 2 months prior. So why are you the best? And that gets into, how you differ. And that's another workshop right there. But does that kind of answer your question, JR?
Yeah, and it is, because there's a lot. I mean, my mother, she's terrible about that. If it costs more, she'll buy it, even though she can get the exact same thing for less. Yeah, it just blows my mind. She just says, "Hey, at my age, I want the best, so I'm not going to scrimp." So I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Okay. The funny thing is, like, if you look at sunglasses, for example, there was a company. I think it was Warby Parker. I think was a company. I listened to their story, years ago, and they said the factory. Okay, keep in mind the factories that are making the $300-$400 glasses, sunglasses and such, or even the regular ones, reading glasses and such. They said the same line is making the little cheapy ones that cost $10. Literally. Materials might be slightly different, but in the end, it's all about when it says Gucci. It's all about when it says Burberry. It's all about when it says Polo or whatever it is. That stamp at the end is what matters, but the quality realistically is indifferent. But of course, people pump money, brands pump it into the perception. Keep in mind, the perception. I used to buy in 2010, 2011, 2009-ish. I used to go and buy these nonsense Burberry Polo shirts. Even at the outlet, it was $100, right? And I thought to myself after a few years, I'm like, wait a second. Touch the material. It's the same thing as a $29 Polo from Ross. It just has the little beautiful, check pattern, whatever. I was like, screw this. I'm not wearing no expensive shirts anymore. But the perception was, oh, man, this is a great brand. It's luxury, blah, 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 blah. So the next one, leverage strategic relationships and post photo video opportunities. Leverage strategic relationships and post photo video opportunities. And what I mean by that is you have, for example, the local news girl or guy, okay? they're, you know, like little local celebrities, but they're not really celebrities outside of Boston. Let's be honest. You know, you look at the what's her name, Amanda Dugan or Rosie Newberry, certain other ones that are on TV that we see them on every day on Studio 512 or KXAN or whatever it is. There's also very many social media influencers. Okay, and of course you've heard that name, influencers. Here's the problem. Your average business owner doesn't reach out to them, okay? Your average business owner doesn't reach out to them. Depending on your product or service, depending on who your market is, it's a lot easier now to try to pinpoint who would be the better influencer or whatever. Let's say it's one of the women from the news. You have a hair salon, okay? Obviously you follow her on Instagram or Facebook, or you see her thing, say, you know what, I want to give her a free, I don't know what they're called, blowout or whatever these things are called, or their hairstyles or services are called, I'm sorry. And you know, it costs $250 or $300 regular. Offer it to her for free. Send her a DM. Hey, I saw you were at Honey and Tea or whatever, Honey and Milk and Honey or whatever. I believe that's a salon. I don't remember. I saw you here last week. Why don't you come try this out? It's on the house. You know, I see you got some new highlights or whatever it is, whatever the thing could be. You set it up with them. You get them there. You don't charge them anything, okay? Once you actually get them done, oh, you look so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. You know, you give them your whole little roll. And then you say, you mind if I take a picture real quick? Yeah. Because the best time to ask for something from somebody is right when you gave them something, right? So you don't say, yeah, when you come, I want to take photos. And don't even mention all that, because she knows exactly what you're doing. So once you have a picture of her or him inside of your shop, you can use that to run a campaign with later on. And people in Austin, depending on who your market is, oh my gosh, Rosie Newberry from KXA, whatever the news station is, Rosie Newberry went there, and oh, Matthew McConaughey, and now we have Joe Rogan here in Austin. Joe Rogan goes there, oh my gosh. So you strategically do that. And with influencers, it's basically the same thing. And nowadays with, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all these different platforms, you can literally DM somebody, and most of the time they don't even have a business manager. They're just checking their DMs and saying who's got money or who's got free stuff, realistically. But you use that and you leverage it to run campaigns towards your intended market. And your intended market might even change depending on what item you're selling that week or what you're trying to push. What is your push item? What's your Powerball type of item, however they call it? Those are different things that you have to look at, but definitely leverage local media folks or influencers. And the local media folks, once they really start maybe listening to your story or whatever it is, they might get you on there. And then you get that little clip like I did when Amanda Tatum asked me to be on Studio 512. I got that little clip of doing my little Halloween dessert interview, and I ran the heck out of it on Facebook and Instagram. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's on TV with Amanda Tatum. At the time was a Studio 512. The next one, identify campaign. I'm going to go slow on this one because y'all definitely need to write it down. Identify campaigns as informative, educational, offer, awareness, perception, or benefit. And I'm going to say it again. Informative, educational, offer, awareness, perception, or benefit. Most business owners, when they run something on, like let's say an ad, a paid advertisement. By the way, marketing and advertising are two different things. Advertising is more the method of how it gets to you, just FYI. So when you want to run something on Facebook, let's say, you're like, okay, well, what do we put? And everyone's kind of like looking at each other like this. And well, let's have the hamburgers at $5 burgers or whatever it could be. Okay, cool. That could be a price. Okay. Now let's say it could be an offer campaign. Okay. Because maybe regular it's $10 and you're chopping it down to $5. 7-Eleven right now, believe it or not, they have their wings are actually pretty good for a gas station. I saw this thing, I was driving by, I said, what, 10 wings for $5? Shoot, let me go try them. I tried them, I said, man, those are really good, because I saw the offer, right? It wasn't about what the wings are made of. Who knows if it's even real chicken? Who knows? It might even be a pigeon for all we know. But it was actually good. And I paid $5 for 10 wings. Now, a better example, she actually came on one of my shows. Her name is Laura Ink Scalp Goddess is what she goes by. Laura Ink Scalp Goddess. She does I believe it's called micropigmentation and such for guys like me that don't have any hair. And it's basically a tattoo on your head, okay? And it makes it look like you got, what do they call it, 5 o'clock shadow, 3 o'clock shadow, whatever it is. And we were talking on one of the episodes, basically kind of like a consulting session as well, why I had her on, strategically done. So I had her on and we were talking about it, and I said, look, if I'm going to pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get these procedures done, I want to know. I want to look at your website. I want to know that you know what you're talking about. I want to hear you. I want to hear your voice. I want to see you. I want to tell me, why is it safe? And boom, boom. So I laid it all down and laid it all down. And once again, depending on your product or service, that might be what you need to do. You might have to run an advertisement that's educational. People that we know, home, AC, for example, summer's coming up. If you run an AC business, maybe send out something where it says, this is why your AC, you need to get a monthly check or whatever. Talk about the mold, talk about this, talk about that, talk about that. Because remember, you're not necessarily saying a price yet. Your main advertisement there is talking about why you need, it's informative, it's educational, okay? And you want people to say, oh, that's right. And that right there is one of the two most powerful words in a negotiation, just FYI. That's right. If you can get someone to say that, not you're right, but to say that's right, that'll totally change the way you do business. When you know what you're getting them to say, that's right. Or with an advertisement, that's me. You know, I'll go to the gym now and I don't have my little belly anymore, which I'm very proud of. But imagine if I were to have seen an advertisement that said, are you a man over 40 embarrassed by your beer gut or beer belly or pot belly, whatever they call it? And I rarely drink, but if I would have seen something like that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'd be so excited that they're talking to me. Because when you're running a campaign and you finally shoot off that advertisement, you're talking to one person. You're talking to one person. And a lot of people don't take that into consideration. So the Laura Ink Scalp Goddess was a good example of that. The next one, you must test your campaigns. You must test your campaigns. I've done so many workshops over these past, 2.5, 3 years almost it's been now, that I started actually public speaking about business and such. And you will be surprised how many business owners spend $50 on Facebook and say, the thing doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work. So what do you mean it doesn't work? Well, I ran an advertisement on Facebook and it didn't work. Well, what did you do? Well, yeah, I put a picture of the plate or whatever. Okay. So you put a picture of your taco plate. Okay, what else? Well, I mean, everybody loves our tacos. Who's everybody? Well, everybody that comes in. I said, okay, well, you're trying to get the people that have never come in. Oh. And then they get silent. I'm like, do you need to run an offer campaign? What kind of campaign do you actually need to do? Do you need to have like a date night special where you have the boyfriend and the girlfriend, or the girlfriend and the girlfriend, whoever it is, you have them together enjoying a plate. You don't always have to focus on the product itself, you know, and then that starts getting into the benefit, the perception. Different campaigns are going to be ran differently, but most business owners are afraid to spend or to do the same type of thing 4 different ways or 3 different ways. And maybe they don't have the money, but you can also partner with people to put in some money. Depending on, maybe you're in a strip center where there's two businesses side by side, and you're friends with the owner and such. Put money together. Maybe you can run two different things. Have an event outside. Draw people in. Bring a bouncy house. Something like that. The next one, cut up content for multi-platform use. Cut up content for multi-platform use. I apologize. So, good example. 2019, I spoke at the Hispanic Business Convention of Texas, right? Hispanic Business Convention of Texas in 2019, which was actually in San Marcos, I believe I had gone to. So here's the thing. If it's, let's say I spoke for, actually it was two sessions I did, but let's say one of them, okay? I said, how valuable is this thing to me? It's very valuable. So what did I do? I hired a camera guy, brought the camera guy, taped both of them, okay, the 1 hour and the 1 hour. Now here's the trick. You get that 1 hour, let's say you do something for 1 hour, right? Or even a commercial that you do. But what I did, I got that 1 hour. I can take a screenshot, use that, and put some like motivational quote or whatever on Instagram. Then I can do like a 3-minute version on Facebook. I can do the full thing on YouTube. I can do another little other segment of it on TikTok, and then Instagram stories, and then whatever it is. LinkedIn could be another one. So what's happening is, it's like getting a deer. You chop it up 30 different ways and you have it for such an extended period of time, but you're constantly eating off that deer. What most business owners do is they go and they do XYZ and they just keep pumping out the same video link or the same URL over and over and over and over and over. It's like, no, chop it up. Different platforms, you can put different segments of it. When I would go and speak on Univision, not the Entrepreneur Summit, but when I was speaking on the Despierta Austin, it's called, okay, with Leslie Montoya, get a screenshot of that, post it on one, get a 30-second clip, post it on another one. Maybe me and Leslie, kind of laughing, whatever, put that on Instagram stories or whatever it is. So that one time, I went multiple times, but one of those times in particular that might have only been a 3-minute ordeal, I now have content I can use for the next 5 or 6 months. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't mean every day, but maybe 1 week post one, and then you just kind of rotate it out. And that's basically, you're marketing your business, your product or your service, because they're constantly seeing you doing that. And especially when you're with the media people, it really, really helps and validates your business. If you're hanging out with the mayor one day, or the mayor comes into your business, take a picture, whatever it is. He likes the tacos or she likes the tacos, give him a big old taco, tell him take a huge bite, run the heck out of that on an Instagram or Facebook ad or however it is. Next one, perception of omnipresence. Perception of omnipresence. I super enjoy his hustle. Well, not I don't want to say hustle, but his hustler mentality where it's just go, go, go. Thomas J. Henry. And I know a lot of y'all are like, man, I see that guy everywhere. He's on the TV, on the radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the side of the road, on a billboard, $50 million, 20, 30 million a client, whatever it is. But imagine if perception of omnipresence, let me repeat that. Perception of omnipresence. Let's say, for example, if I own a boot company, I make cowboy boots, right? Where do I need to start hanging out? Probably at the rodeo or the local rodeos, the local, stables and such. So what happens is, if I have a cowboy boot company and I know that Justin's Boots is, right down the road or whatever, but Justin's won't get me in yet. Because remember, I'm the little guy, okay? Cavender's or Justin's, whoever it is. Maybe getting a small advertisement by them on the way there. Rudy's did this to Slab Barbecue, right where you have to turn on Burnett and 183 to get to Slab Barbecue. You know what Rudy's Barbecue did? They put a big old billboard right there, right at the exit. So they're basically saying, the heck with Rudy's, the heck with Slab, come to Rudy's. So if I can run a smaller advertisement, not a big billboard, but a smaller, what do they call those, MDO board, something like that. I don't know, a 6x9 or 6x10. 1 or 2 exits before Justin's, going for cowboy boots? Question mark. Have you seen, Hamid Yaz. I don't think there's Hamid Yaz cowboy boots, but you get what I'm saying. At the local stables, at the local little rodeo place, maybe on, I think KVET is a radio station. So what happens is cowboys, right? Maybe right by the Leaf Johnson Ford or the Truck City or whatever it is on I-35. So what happens is the cowboys, you find the place where they're going to, and you basically get them. You're there. So they're like, oh my gosh, everywhere I look, I see this new cowboy boot cut. Everywhere I look, it's the perception of omnipresence. You're just getting to them before they get to you, because keep in mind, they don't know who the heck you are. The next one, staying relevant and virality. These are the two bonus ones, just FYI. Staying relevant and virality. Staying relevant and virality. Every business owner would love to have a TikTok go viral, where it has millions and millions of views, or an Instagram thing, or a meme, or whatever it is. It's the best thing ever, right? Quick example. Cardi B, whether you're a fan or not, it doesn't matter, because she's making things happen, okay? Let's say you own a bakery, and let's say, for example, you want to target, I don't know, 18 to 25-year-old girls, young girls, and Cardi B is about to release a new album, okay? Or let's say she just did, or she's about to, and it's called Butterfly Barbie. Let's say Butterfly Barbie. And you're like, ooh, I'm gonna do this new like cupcake smoothie. It's kind of like, what's it, Starbucks. They have that unicorn thing and all these different weird colors with the whipped cream on top or whatever. So you could call it, okay, just FYI, you could say something along the lines of Butterfly Barbie smoothie, or however you want to label it. Okay, you got to get creative with the labeling, and you start running the heck out of it, because on top of that, the people that you're trying to target are, let's say, 18 to 25 years old. When you run your advertisement, you run it against, let's say if it was girls or guys, doesn't matter, 18 to 25 years old, and you now have remember, word or phrase that relates to something that people in their demo would more than likely listen to or want. So they're like, oh, wait, oh, they're Cardi B fans. Oh my God, the bakery, blah, 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 right? So what do they do? They come and they get it from you. When I had my dessert trailer, I was at the Y in Oak Hill when I first started. I did a thing called the Southside Mudslide, okay? Remember, Southside Mudslide. All it was a brownie with the blondie, with ice cream, with caramel, with dulce de leche, basically diabetes on a plate like crazy. I mean, it was crazy looking. It stood about this tall. And people were showing, and of course, the way you run your ad is the way what they're going to come for. They're like, hey man, yeah man, Southside, and these guys were coming with these Southside shirts and taking pictures with the Southside Mudslide. And I was like, wow. And when I had that dessert business, I knew for a fact that it's amazing that people are coming just for pictures, or they see something catchy or whatever it is. They're the ones that make it go viral, because they repost Southside Mudslide. Someone said, when are you going to do the East Side Mudslide? I was like, oh my God, we're in Oak Hill, man. We're like Southside, but not really Southside or whatever, right? So there's so many different ways you can try, because no one can guarantee virality. But once you're keeping up with trends with your target market, it's a lot easier for them to say, oh my gosh, this album just came out and they did I forget, not pay homage, I forget what it's called, but a tribute, like a tribute drink for this artist, or this, if so-and-so passes away, for example. That's one way to do it as well, but depending on how you do it. The next one, very, very important, which will be the last one of these 10 plus 2 secrets, will be become the media source. Okay? Become the media source. This one is so simple because you don't need to have anything fancy. TikTok is free. Instagram is free. Facebook is free. And it's not even about running ads. This is just regular posts. Running ads is a different thing. It's free, 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 free. Depending on what you do, okay? Let's say, for example, if you own a Cuban restaurant, okay? The average person in Texas, in Austin, Texas, at least, or Texas, the average person has no clue what the difference is possibly with Cuban food, Dominican food, Puerto Rican food, and so on. So you can become the media source, maybe even of that type of food. And once again, with your campaigns as well, I'm becoming the media source because I'm letting people know why Cuban food this, what are the trends with Cuban food, Puerto Rican food. So what's happening is, and that goes back to subcategory, okay? Because everyone said, oh, Mexican food. Well, there's way more many other Latin American plates than just Mexican food. So then you start bringing the you start narrowing down with the subcategory. If you're a real estate agent, I'm sure there's plenty of real estate agents on here more than likely, become the media source of, let's say, if you want to dominate the Dripping Springs area, you want to dominate the San Marcos area, talk about the schools. Don't even try to sell a house yet. Talk about why this school is XYZ better, or the favorite one of these parents, why the parents moved to Plum Creek in, I think, Buda, Kyle, wherever it is. Why do they choose that? Maybe interview the parents, interview the teachers, interview the business owners. So what's happening is you're becoming the media source for that area, and people see you're not not cutthroat, but you're not like a pushy salesman, that you're actually giving them information, right? You're informative and you're educating them on the area where they're possibly going to buy a house. Now, of course, you still have to make money, don't get me wrong, but you'll be amazed at how much more money you will make when you get off the gas a little bit with sell, and you start bringing in other value for your intent, your prospect or your customer, your client, that other people are not doing, okay? Become the media source. Now, the last 3 things I want to talk about, and I could tell you in 30 seconds, and I'm actually, just so I can make it a little bit easier, I wrote it like this. No matter what product or service you have, okay, I want you to think about these 3 things. More campaigns means more new customers. More campaigns means more new customers, okay? Basically, bring more people in. I know bookkeepers, okay, that say, oh, I'm overwhelmed with business right now. Well, yeah, it's tax time. What happens throughout the year? Did you get enough of that where you have monthly, you have enough clients where you're doing their books every month? Or is it just a bunch of, contractors and such, or employees that come and do a quick little, their taxes, their one shots, Are you bringing in people that are valuable for the rest of the year? So you have to run marketing campaigns. I know it doesn't sound like a secret, but it's very overlooked. And that guarantees new customers means new money. Number 2, you need a system to increase their visits. You need a system to increase their visits. Go to practically any restaurant, Austin, Buda, Kyle, San Marcos, it doesn't matter. More than likely, this is what's going to happen. You're going to pay your bill, or you're going to pay at the register. I say, okay, thank you. Or, okay, thank you. See you again. Or see you next time, right? Is what they say. How do you know I'm going to come next time? What incentive did you give me to come next time? What incentive is bringing me back to your dry cleaners? What incentive is bringing me back to your hair salon? There's 1,000 other options. All of this, okay, see you later. See you next time. Come again. Thank you. The bag. Thank you. Come again. There's no incentive. You're under the assumption that your service or your price or your quality was so good that they're just going to randomly show up. And the problem with that is your average business owner doesn't train their staff to get customers to repeat their visits. They just hire maybe somebody that's cute, put them at the front, or just somebody that's competent enough to know that $1 plus $1 equals $2. Stop and think about that. If you can train an employee to be much more valuable by actually getting people to increase their visits, oh my God, it'll totally transform your business, and it's guaranteed to grow. The last one, train your staff to increase transactions. Their wallet is already out. The credit card or debit card is already in their hand. It might even be in your hand also. And it's like when you go to buy a car, what do they say? Oh, well, yeah, we got the extended warranty for $3,000, $3,100. They tried to hit me with the other day, $3,100. I was like, no, I'm good. This is already a certified pre-owned. Oh, well, I can give it to you $1, okay, $1 above dealer cost. So the $3,100 magically came to $1,201. So some people might say, oh, yeah, that's a great deal. So now that transaction of, let's say if it's an $18,000 deal, just went up an extra $1,201 because the finance manager was trained on how to get the transaction to increase. Now, when you're this is going to make you laugh. We went to a Nissan dealership, me and my son. The guy's name was Hamid, and he was Persian. I'm like, oh my Lord, this is going to be a disaster right here. Two Hamids negotiating the price of a car, and I ended up getting one from another dealer for $1,920 less. Same exact vehicle. So you get what you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. Now, those three things right there: train your staff to increase transactions. You need a system to increase their visits, and of course, get more campaigns going. You have to market. Depending on the seasons, it might slow down. But what other product or service can you offer when it slows down? You don't, in the wintertime, can't cut yards. Grass ain't growing. What else can you do for somebody? Think about it. But your whole business revolved around cutting yards and trimming hedges, but they're not growing anymore because now it's December. So I hope that really helped y'all. Let me actually.
We have a few. Hamid, thank you very much. You are just a plethora of knowledge. It just cascades off those lips of yours continuously. We are getting information like trying to drink water from a fire hose. But in the last few minutes, let's see if we have any questions. If somebody wants to ask any questions, and or any other panelists have anything they want to chime in on, please do. Panelists, first shot. Anybody have anything for Hamid?
Well, please make sure you ask that person, influencer, before you. Oops, hold on. Please make sure you.
No, that was an old one.
Oh, it's something else. I'm sorry. Type in your message. We have we have time.
Awesome information. Thank you. I just noticed when you were giving examples of different businesses that you use hair salons a lot, and by looking at you, is that really the best example you want to use?
Yeah, because I went to so many hair salons over the years, they just took my hair off, and that's how they lost me as a customer. It's those chemicals, man. It's those chemicals that they put in.
So, JR or Hamid, do either of you have that summary slide that you want to share? Or
oh yeah. Let me give me 1 second. I might even.
And then after you share that, I have a few slides to talk about next month. So y'all hang on. We also have a little survey at the end, if you all will hang on.
And we do have a question asking what that third point at the end was.
Oh, there it is. You got it. The third point at the end, from the growth secrets. I believe that was the one, my screen is off, but if I'm not mistaken, it's the one about increasing the transaction sizes. Increasing the transaction sizes. And good, quickest example, when you go to McDonald's and they say, would you like fries with that or whatever it is? That's not because they really care if you eat fries or not. That's because they want your $4 hamburger to now become $2 extra. And they just increased it by 50%. They just increased the transaction size by 50%. Stop and think about every transaction that your business does over a period of a month. Let's just don't even worry about a quarter, or let's worry about a week. In 1 week, stop and think about how many customers go through that register. Now imagine if you were to increase the average transaction, the average transaction by 5 to 10%. Will your business grow? Yes, it will, guaranteed. You have to train your staff to do that type of things. Don't worry about how pretty the girl is. Don't worry about that the guy is your co-founder's son. Put somebody there that's competent. Even if you have to pay them $2 more an hour, it doesn't matter. You will make the money back. Trust me. Don't say, what's the cheapest labor we can fill the spot with? Don't worry about that. Say, who's the most competent that can increase the transaction as well as get the customers to return? That'll totally transform your business. And that employee will actually go from, a $11 an hour employee to really somebody that's worth probably $80,000 to $90,000 a year. But you don't pay them $80,000 to $90,000. Maybe you give them commissions or bonuses. Who knows? But something to definitely think about.
Well, Hamid, thank you so very much. I know Barbara has a few announcements. And Hamid, if people were interested in maybe tapping into you on your YouTube channel to get some of these other hints of information and some other things, how would they find you on YouTube?
Yeah, just look up Hamid Yaz. These past, I think 8 weeks, I've been more laid back, working on other projects, not putting stuff on YouTube, but I do have more coming on YouTube. However, there is plenty on YouTube. You can see a lot of the workshops I've done, little segments. I've got some great interviews. JR was one. An interview that I did on a show I did named Driven. A buddy of mine is CFO of Pepsi, another big shot at Oracle, relationship expert, local actor. And it's really interesting to see their stories as business owners and entrepreneurs and watching them grow and what got them, or corporate people as well, what got them there to where they're at. And I'm interviewing them, talking with them. Really interesting stuff. Just look up Hamid Yaz, HAMIDYAZ, and that'll connect you with all my other stuff as well.
Hamid, thank you very, very much.
No,
Barbara,
I appreciate
I'm turning
y'all.
it back to you.
Thank you, Hamid.
Thank you. I appreciate all of y'all's time.